starting the live stream. I really like your Prusa Slicer stuff. It looks really nice.
Thank you. I was not expecting that to make such a splash.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I don't know. I just yesterday I felt inspired, I guess. And as typical, my second display decides to switch itself.
Of course.
It just can't help itself.
I just went full screen, but hid the instructions I was looking at. It's like, really?
Alrighty. So it looks like we're all ready to do something, but what is that something? You were talking about some sort of calibration thingamajig earlier today?
Okay, so there is, let's go to E3D. E3D has got a series of calibration tools. E3D flow calibration, flow rate or something like that. See, there we go. I'll stick it in the link. Meow. Meow. Sorry. He's gone into the kitchen and is talking to me again. I just put a fresh plate of food out for him, and he ate a little bit of it, and now he's walking in the kitchen, looking at the refrigerator, and crying. What? Anyway, so I just posted that. I'm going to grab my bits box so I can start maybe building the corner plates from the front corners while we're talking.
Okie dokie.
All right.
Off the top of your head, do you know what a relative move is? The command?
Relative move is it's a move based on the current position.
No, let me rephrase it. I meant do you know what the command or the G-code for a relative move is?
It's G91, I think, or it's G91 absolute. It's G90 or G91.
Oh, here we go. G90. Oh, so you have to run a G91, do a relative move, then do a G90 to go back to absolute?
Right.
Okay. So Josh put in this thing where it moves the bed all the way down at the end of a print, and I don't really like that idea. So
Okay.
I'm just going to switch it to a relative Z move and drop it down a value that I like instead.
I usually drop like 30, or I lift the print head 30, and then, so here's what I do when I'm running. This is what I've got in all my end prints for my different printers, is I'll lift it 30, then I'll home XY. And in your case, homing XY will put the carriage all the way in the back, right?
I don't know that I really want to. Well, it already homes, I guess. It doesn't do a homing command, but it does return to 0. That's
Okay.
already in Josh's G-code.
Okay, and then what I do on my other my bed slingers, my i3 style, is after I home it, I'll present the print. So I'll move, I'll go to like Y bed length, bed measurement kind of thing.
Hmm? I don't understand what you mean by that.
So I'll move so at the end of the print, like I said, I'll home XY,
Right.
and then I'll move Y to whatever the bed maximum is. Because I have bed slingers, right?
Oh. Yeah, that's irrelevant for this machine.
Right.
So.
That's what I was trying to say. It doesn't apply here, but that's what I do on my other machines.
Gotcha.
Is it presents the print. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So by presenting the print, it makes it easier to remove from the bed and whatnot. All right, what do I need? So this flow rate calibration, did you figure out? You said you figured out the resets, right?
Yeah, I settled on 400 even.
Okay. Like I said, it moved. Mine was off by a little bit, not a lot, but it was off by a little bit. I might. The thing is, it's like, I can't even build on with all the parts that I have. It's like I have to make new parts, which is a little annoying, but there you go.
Yeah. So oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you first.
I was just gonna say, I actually already do pretty much exactly what's in this E3D article. The only thing, there is a difference though between what I do and the article, and I'll try the article. And I always do a single-walled vase mode print to test the how wide the extrusion is. But I'll try it the other way, see how the double wall instead. So.
The double wall's got a couple of advantages to it.
But yesterday I did the single wall, and I mean, it seems pretty close. Of course, it all depends on how hard you press on the calipers. So.
Yeah, as long as you're consistent, is my thought on that. All right, so.
Yeah, so it seems to be just about perfect. I want to double check my Z offset before I do anything.
So as I printed each of these things, I put the set of them into baggies. So I have my left Z, my front left, my front right, and my back Z, each in separate Ziploc bags. And then I've got my carriage lock in a separate Ziploc bag. And then I've got my carriage, so I've got the tool lock, but I don't know why I have a carriage in it. It makes no sense. So, and then I had put together a carriage with the twist locks and all the other bits and pieces to it, except for the carriage back, which I put with the tool lock. So I have carriages and things like that. And does the carriage need to go to PEPG?
I printed everything in PETG, but I believe Josh says the only thing that really requires it are the motor corner plates.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
So, I mean, you can print it in whatever you want for the rest of it, just the corner plates for because they get a bit warm, which eventually will get replaced in aluminum anyway, so.
That is true.
I'm assuming you're going to go and do that.
Eventually, but I'd like to get it actually put together first. So I have a piece that's actually no good. It goes in my miscellaneous bit box. Those are my and I started making, it's not right, but I started making a lock for the larger gear, the planetary gear stepper.
Gotcha.
And that is, well, there you go. That I didn't finish it because I didn't know if I was going to get the part I needed from Luke at the time, and I already have one. So there's my building.
There we go. I was missing from, I put in all of Denal's programs, but apparently he didn't have all the programs. I was missing a few.
Oh.
Either that or somehow I didn't grab them, but I'm not sure how I would have done that. Yeah, I was missing pause, cancel, and resume macros.
Oh, wow, those are important.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so let me go grab that tool. Well, first I need a home everything. Still not convinced it really needs to run a tram every single time it does a Z-home.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, I got a tentative quote on putting in a cement pad for my shed that I want to put together. It's a bit pricey.
Yeah, they're not cheap. I haven't gotten a quote, but I did talk with a guy about the laser cutter. Did I think I was looking at the laser cutter?
I didn't know you were looking into anything seriously.
So I've been for like 2 years now, and I was searching Craigslist, and I came across the guy up in a couple hours away. He's up in Fredericksburg, just north of Richmond, so like 2 hours, which isn't a big deal because I used to commute to Richmond on a weekly basis. But he's got a 100-watt, 600 by 900 cutting area with a rotary attachment, 5200 chiller, or CW 5200 chiller for the chill water system, air assist, and an extraction blower. And it's basically, he got it and didn't even finish getting it set up completely. It's got maybe it's got basically the initial test firing and some alignment firing on the laser. And he's a small business. He does custom stuff in the gift shops and things like that at a local government facility. And he's shut down for at least 90 days. And so he needs to basically sell it.
Gotcha.
And he needs to sell it quick. So,
what's he asking for it, if you don't mind my asking?
$3,200.
I'm honestly not familiar enough with higher end machines to know how good of a value that is, but it sounds like it would be a good value, I think.
It is. It is. If it's the same model that I'm looking at on the website, he's selling it for about 30% of the new value.
Wow, that's hard. Would be hard to pass up if you have the cash laying around for it.
No, I don't necessarily have the cash laying around for it, but I have enough cash laying around for it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And it'll go in the thing is it'll go in the garage because I don't have any place else to put it right now. So I can make space in the garage for it. And I can hook it up because it runs on 110, and I have a.
You're not gonna have it freeze out there, I hope.
No, no.
Like even if there's a cold snap, are you prepared to do something like heat the garage or something?
Yeah. Also, you put antifreeze in the use an ethyl glycol in the cooling system.
Gotcha. Yeah, but heating and cooling is going to play merry hell probably with your mirror calibrations.
Yeah, that's one of the things he was saying. He said he started doing a mirror calibration, and he just kept getting it wrong.
It's tough. I can send you my mirror mounts, but I'm sure they are not the right size for the mirrors for that size of machine. But I designed my own mirror mount so that typical laser mirror mounts have 3 calibration screws. Yeah. So they move in unintuitive ways. I've redesigned them, mine, so that they only use 2 screws and move in a very understandable and human thinking way.
Okay. I was an amateur astronomer for a long time, and I used Newtonian. So yeah, I'm real familiar with using a 3-point alignment on mirrors.
Well, one of the other things. Sorry, go ahead.
I had a 6-inch reflector telescope.
Gotcha.
So I had a 6-inch parabolic mirror at the bottom.
Why can I not?
Okay, what parts do I need for this next step?
Oh, what about this pressure advance stuff?
Don't worry about the pressure advance until you've got consistent.
Well, it looks like it's on by default here. I don't know, should I just comment this line off?
Let me find you a pressure advance reference. So pressure advance is, I'm more familiar with it in Clipper. Come on.
I think if I just comment this line out, hopefully it just turns it off. Oh.
It's linear advance.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Dang it.
Oh, here we go. Duet 3D pressure advance. Here's what it is. Reference incoming. Not real happy with that one. A couple of the corners lifted up. All right.
I'd imagine that the Firmware doesn't need to worry too much about elasticity in the system, not as much as.
No, it doesn't really, because you don't really need pressure advance too much with the Firmware, because it's a direct drive, not a Bowden.
Yeah,
there is
also
value.
A really short path even for a direct drive.
Yeah, it's small. So do you know how the direct drive, a good starting for PLA is 0.025? That's 0.025.
I'm just going to comment the line out for now.
Okay.
Turn it back on later if I want to.
Sure.
But I've printed my entire printing for as long as I've been printing. I've never used pressure advance, so I think I can do without it for a little while.
Okay.
Just want to dial in what I'm familiar with first. No, I think we dropped the bed way too far for. I guess if the Z screws were really out of whack. But
yeah,
I mean,
it's to help keep it from crashing.
Yeah, but you really shouldn't be running a calibration if you're really out of whack anyway.
Yeah.
You should manually move the screws to get them relatively close.
How do you tell?
Just by looking at it. If I were to turn one of these lead screws down enough to make a difference, I'll definitely be able to see it. Well before we would be.
Well, one of the things you can do is you put basically max stops on the lead screws. So when the bed drops, you won't the bed until all three are on the max stops. Because you can run until you skip steps at that point, right? Because you a hard stop down there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to run them up against hard stops either, but I just don't think we really need to drop as much as we're dropping. I mean,
probably not. You can adjust that. You go to your the bed script or the home Z script, and instead of a -10, you make it like a -5. Right?
Yeah. I probably will at some point.
Okay.
Where did my offsets go? What was
Right.
it? T offsets.
So I need. Yep. So I have multiple sets of bearings or of pulleys because I ordered some and I didn't know when the borders we're going to get here. So I got another set. So I think what I need to do is start looking at the bearing sets I've got and set them A, most alike, and B, yeah, get the ones that are most alike, and close enough to the drop by the spec, right?
Mm-hmm. I really like how you can drop basic shapes into Prusa Slicer. That is just too convenient.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool. If you tip the bed so you're looking underneath, it hides the STL so that you can look at the print underneath.
Yeah. You know what I'm not finding in my toolbox here?
Cheez-Its?
In my parts box?
What's that?
I am not finding the low profile M5s.
Wow. Josh has perimeters at 120. Why not? Let's see what happens when I print with Josh's parameters.
Okay.
Seems unnecessarily aggressive for just a normal print.
Yeah.
But I figure I'll make custom profiles for things I want at some point. Like,
Sure.
I'll do all that fun stuff. I don't know. Let's just see what happens, I guess. Let's go for broke. I thought I told it no top layers.
Maybe you did.
Oh, I clearly didn't. There's top layers.
Ah.
Oh, ha! I did one top layer, no bottom layers. That was exactly the opposite of what I wanted.
Oh, got it. Okay. 5mm shoulder diameter.
Oh, I changed print settings and it
Oh, okay.
well, it seemed like it resliced it, but maybe not. Oh, you can do perimeters and brims with slicing?
Yeah.
That's nifty. In S3D, I have to basically make the brims and become the perimeter become the thing. Why is there so many? Skirt and brim. Okay. Brim width. I don't want a brim. Told it to do 2 loops, but there's 5 lines. That's weird.
Yeah, I saw 2 loops.
I don't care too much to worry about it at the moment, but I find it weird.
Yeah. Shoulder screws, M3/6, shims, standoffs. M310.
Here we go.
Okay. M58. Okay.
I wish there was a way to make the temperature chart bigger.
Yeah, there might be a way.
Yeah, I've been trying to look at it. Not sure how, but it'd be nice to make the temperature chart full screen when you're trying to look at the nuances of how it's heating.
Yeah. I don't think I've got M5. I'm not finding my M5 low profile. So, well, there we go.
So I've found some spare parts laying around in various boxes, and I now have a full V6 replacement for my original printer.
Oh, good.
I'm going to reuse, I probably have sensors that I could put brand new into this somewhere, but I don't really feel like looking for them right now.
Okay.
And a heater cartridge, I'm sure I have a spare one of those too, but if I remember correctly, I barely used this hot end before I had swapped over to the 1.1 version. And in the 1.1 version, I exclusively ended up using the second extruder because in 1.1 version, extruder 2 was the direct drive, and I ended up basically taking the nozzle off of the other side, so I didn't have to worry about it hitting prints, and just printed that way for. Whoa.
Oh. So, damn it, this corner's already pried up. Sorry.
Oh, corner of what?
Oh, I'm trying to print this thing, and I used to put the brim. It tore away from the brim, and the corners are coming up. I'm don't know what I'm doing wrong on embedded Fusion. So I'm going to cancel this print, and
Well, if it's just the brim that came up, it's not a big deal, is it?
No, it tore off the brim.
Oh.
The corners. But how do I get the bed to stick better? Well, I've got some of this nano adhesive. I'll try that. See if that helps.
What are you using right now?
Using the bed plate.
Well, what's on the bed plate though?
It's one of those ceramic. Sticks real well for sticks real well on
PLA?
yeah. PG not so much. I guess maybe is it doing all right?
Yeah. From what I can tell, that looks pretty good actually. We'll see what the results are once it stops.
So, yeah, I mean, it says blue painter's tape is good for PEPG. I suppose I could grab some painter's tape. Throw down a chunk on top of the glass bed here.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say anything. The only thing I've ever needed for PETG and PLA, I use the same stuff, and it's called 3D Ease. Richard Horn had reviewed it years ago, and I bought some, and I've basically been using that same supply for years. I don't have to replace it very often, so I still got a fair amount left.
Yeah. Well, I've got a sample of the Vision Miner adhesive. So, you know what? I might just try it. Water index or alcohol, use a bottle like a pen, draw your print surface area, spread the nozzle below 300, remove the part when cool. Caution can break glass. Apparently this stuff is like really good. But I have to let my build plate cool down before I can put it on there.
Yeah, the stuff I have for my big box, I actually have 2 glass plates for it. And so what I actually use the heating process to kind of cure the stuff. So what happens is it's a liquid coating, and I have to apply like 3 times. I don't know if I have to. It's just what I do. And yeah, so I apply basically 3 coats of it, and in varying directions to try to get as uniform as possible. And in between coats, I'll throw it on the heat bed and let it bake.
Okay. Vision Miner says clean the bed, put it on, run your print. So people swear by this stuff, and I got a sample. I mean, I didn't pay anything for the sample I've got. It was a freebie.
Gotcha.
So I
Yeah.
would give it
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend you getting 3DEs anyway, because I frankly don't know if it'd be even possible for you to obtain at this point. It's the heck do I have going on here?
That's okay. I am discovering that my boys have it back here. They've decided that they can get on top of the table. And they have done so. And there's, like, all my stuff is just knocked on the floor. So I'm just not really happy with them right now. Including the brush I had for smoothing the stuff around. Now granted, it was just an acid brush, but it's the one I had here.
There we go.
Okay, how is it?
Well, at first glance, it looks great. I'll take a nice close-up for you. 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, why am I brain dead? There we go. Nope. There we go. Oh, the picture's blurry. Hold on, let me try that again.
Guess what I just found?
Taco
Under
Bell
my-
sauce packets.
No, I found my 7mm socket.
Nice.
It was under my computer. How it got there, I don't know.
Just fair
Although
warning, whenever somebody asks me to guess something, I say something completely random.
How's it look? What do you think? Looking at the pictures, but pictures.
Yeah. No, in real life it looks good. I was just waiting for it to cool a little bit.
The second one looks pretty good. I see a little striping on a little diamond striping on the side.
Yeah, I mean that you only see that texture when the light hits it just right. It looks perfectly smooth. Here, let me see if I can get I got it off the bed now. Let me see if I can get a really nice.
So, yeah, and the box of the filament came with a build surface, but it's overture, so I don't really trust it.
Oh.
Never mind. I don't even want to know.
Oh, my camera doesn't want to focus. It wants to focus in the background, even though I'm telling it to focus in the foreground.
They were helping. And by helping, I mean
Oh, here we go. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, how do I crop this?
yes, and by helping, they knocked all of my medication.
Why is it that I can always end up accidentally finding the crop tools when I don't care? And then whenever I want to find the crop tools, I can never locate them on my phone.
Just because.
Huh. When I try to crop it, it for some reason degraded the quality of the photo, so like it automatically downgraded it.
That's weird.
Yeah, so I tried, so basically cropping it on the phone's not going to work.
Okay.
All right, now for some dimensional testing, I suppose. That should have uploaded the photo.
Yep, I see it now.
Yeah, so if you zoom all the way in, I mean, it looks really clean.
Okay, cool. I just have to get back on my feet, sitting on the floor. And that may take me a minute. Also, I'm trying to figure out where they also knocked the keyboard off, and it looks like I'm missing the. Because, you know, yeah.
Wow. The extrusion width is set to 0.45. And on this double wall measurement, I measured exactly 0.9.
All right. That is a good sign. It means your flow rate at 100% is exactly on.
Now, as far as the bottom layer and the perimeter overlap, I don't really like it. I wonder if there's settings for that. I'm sure there are.
There are.
I know what. Yeah, I know it does actually look more or less like it does in the picture. Josh has 0 perimeter overlap, it looks like.
Okay.
Well, maybe there is some, but it definitely leaves a bunch of holes. Let me see what I can do about that. Here, I'll snap a quick picture of it. You can see in the slicer how there's holes in it. It's kind of weird, actually, but the slicer is leaving such big holes, to be honest.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be holes. Are they?
Here, I'll snap a picture of what's in the slicer, and then I'll snap a picture of what I actually printed.
Oh, wow. I can't make it any bigger. But that's just me. So.
Yeah, it's hard to tell even in the picture that I uploaded. The bottom definitely is pretty close to resembling what it looks like in the slicer. So I don't think anything is at fault from the printer.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot one important dimension. How tall is this thing?
Aha.
It appears to be 10.06 millimeters.
Well, 0.02 is the best you can get on your calipers, probably, something like that.
Says 0.01 on them. I mean, when I can make it say 0.01. I don't know how accurate it really is, but either way, I am pretty satisfied with the quality of this print. So I say let's do some sort of benchmark print. Dare I do a benchy?
Dare you do a benchy? Maybe a benchy mark?
Benchy mark, is that a different form of benchy?
No, it's not. I was trying to make a pun.
Gotcha. Oh, there's a lot of remixes of benchy, so I thought maybe it was.
No, it's just a pun.
So I don't really expect the benchy to turn out great because, frankly, I'm not really impressed with the quality of the fan. However, just for traditional sake, I want to do the original benchy.
Yeah, slice it up.
How do you find the original benchy? There's so many versions.
It's pretty simple. Just do a thing reverse search for bench. I'm going to look in the other room. I'll be right back.
Well, there's a billion benchies. There's benchies that look like the original benchy, but I don't know if they really are. There's some creative versions of benchies, that's for sure. There's a lot of bored people in the world.
Sorry, I stepped out of the room for a moment. I was looking for paper or an acid brush or any of the, like, 3 of them that I had on my earlier today. But I've also had wee beasties walking across my desk when I wasn't sitting there. Did you find the benchy?
No.
Maybe I'll let me get you the report real quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I'd saved it at some point. There's just so many remixes out there. I don't know how to find the actual original benchy anymore.
I've got it bookmarked.
I would have thought I would have had it bookmarked too. But, you know, that's what I get for thinking. Kind of funny though, some of these things bring back memories. I haven't looked at some of my old stuff in a really long time.
Just do type 3dbenchy.com.
3D benchy?
3dbenchy.com. Benchy is so flexible compared to PLA.
I'm sorry, what's so flexible? I didn't hear what you said.
Benchy is flexy as compared to PLA for the same number of layers.
I printed everything with Josh's settings and don't seem to have a problem with it.
Well, the problem I'm running into is it's peeling off the bed. So, you know, what do you do about that, right?
Well, that has more to do with your surface than it has to do with how many layers or whatever you're using.
Oh, no, no, I'm just saying is it was peeling off the bed. And I'm not saying it's the settings or anything. I'm just saying it's peeling off the bed. You've got to figure out why it's peeling and how to fix it.
Ah.
But I also have managed to...
How do you... I don't see... This is really dumb, but I don't see how you add a... something to your platter here, of all things. I mean, I suppose I could drag and drop the file, but...
Yeah, drag and drop the file on there.
I don't feel like it. Oh, here we go. Import STL. This is what I want.
All right, I need to clean my desk area. I have managed to lose too many things at this point. There's also a pile of stuff that got pushed off the back of my desk by a fluffy monster. Because he gets up on the back of the desk and then he starts swishing his tail and just pushing things off. And next thing I know, I've got nothing back. So, just like, really? Okay. Clean the build plate. That's the first step.
Ah, here we go.
Hey, buddy.
That certainly looks like a benchy.
Yeah. What infill are you going to use?
Oh, you know what? I think it's just set to rectilinear.
Okay.
But I should double check the infill because I probably have it set to 0 right now. Yeah. Good point. Ah, that just looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's interesting looking. Alright, let's just print. This will be a live stream of watching a benchy materialize. Hey, wait a minute. How long does it say this is going to take?
Hour. Should be about an hour, give or take.
Thought it would be a little faster considering the settings. Alrighty. I suppose over the course of the next hour, I'll probably start.
So sleep,
What's that?
take a nap.
No, I'll probably get my other printer starting to get put back together. I need more spool holders. Now that I don't have, or now that I have another printer, I don't have enough.
Okay. So I have applied the nano coating. I will reprint the same job that I just. So one of the things I've got in my startup for my printer, now granted this is an Ender 3, not a not anything else particularly fancy. I set my startup a little bit different. So after it homes X, Y, and Z, right?
Mm-hmm.
And while it's homing, it's heating up the bed. Then it waits in the Z home position until the bed is fully warmed up. And then it does the bed, it does the G29 that creates the mesh. Excuse me. And then after it creates the mesh, at this point, it still hasn't heated the nozzle. After it creates the mesh, then it moves the nozzle to essentially the 0, 0 position, and then drops it down to 0.15 from the bed, and then it heats up the nozzle at that point. And after the nozzle gets the temperature, then it runs the purge. But you know, the nozzle is doing it, the hot end is heating up basically up against the bed.
Gotcha.
So we'll see if this works. If I get a good layer on this, then you know, if this stuff works out, I'll buy a big bottle of it. Ooh, I see a grab. I see a tool grab.
Yep.
And you're starting your benching.
Wow, this is way faster than I normally print my first layer.
Okay.
Whoa. Oh, we'll just see how Josh's settings work. I don't know, I've always printed my first layer slowly because, you know, it just holds better.
But we'll find out, right?
Yeah. I've also never really printed on build test before. Tiny little bit of experience with it. I tried putting it on my old printer once upon a time. I mean, it looks like it's working.
Okay.
Wow, that's fast. Holy crap. Oh, I forgot to change the settings for the perimeter overlap. Oh well. This is definitely faster than my old printer prints.
Okay.
I suppose people probably won't be interested in what's on the duet. What the duet's doing. Let me see if I can find it better.
I'm doing a comparison. Now, granted, I'm only looking at the first one out of each bag, but I'm comparing my two gears. Okay, the winds I bought are they appear thinner.
Move to the top. There we go.
So what was Josh's gear height?
I'm sorry, what is Josh's what?
So my Wincing gears are 8.6 millimeters tall, and the ones I got from China are 9.6.
Gear height?
The not gear, idler pulley.
Oh. You want me to measure one of my idler pulleys? I think I have a few extra.
You have one of the toothed ones, right?
Hold on. Yeah, I ordered whatever was on the bomb before the AliExpress stuff was added, so I don't have the same issues that Steve was having. So if I measure the idler pulley, I get about 8.6 millimeters for the toothed.
Okay, that's the ones I'll use.
I have 8.5 on the smooth.
All right.
Are you sure this is going to take an hour? It's already like 4 millimeters off the bed.
That is printing it very, very fast.
It did say an hour in the, I thought in Prusa Slicer.
Yeah?
But I don't think that's right at all. Yeah, it says layer time is 30 minutes in the, so I never understand that. File progress says 55 minutes, but layer time says 27 minutes. I never really understood what that meant.
Heat up some cold, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Good Lord, each layer is less than 10 seconds.
Okay.
I'm really curious what this is going to look like when it's all said and done. Especially with such a wimpy fan, the bow is probably going to look terrible.
Who knows?
I should have printed it the other direction so that what little air was going to come out would hit it. Hit the bow, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to trying to wire up my old printer again.
I find the sound of a printer relaxing or kind of entrancing.
Oh, I definitely enjoy the acoustics.
Those are pretty loud. That's pretty loud. And
It
it's not
it
very
is
loud.
it is a bit louder than my big box, but it's also quite a bit faster than my big box. So
It's moving. I don't know, what's your speed?
uh, Josh, so this is just literally the default I pulled. I did nothing to the speeds.
Okay.
So top speed says 122.
Really? Okay.
No wonder the steppers get warm. I want to do I'm really kind of interested in doing a Bowden, to see what this thing can do with a really light head.
Okay. I know that's something Steve's working on.
Yeah, I have all the parts for a, well, I think I was telling you about it before. I have a Bondtech extruder that I could take off of my old printer. I have 3 printers, but one of them I haven't actually run in. I kind of tried to mess with it a while back, but there just really wasn't much point. It's like my very first printer. But I put a really nice extruder system on it, and I'm thinking about stripping it off and using it as a tool for the Jubilee.
Okay.
E3D V6 with a nice Bondtech extruder.
You're going to do a boat, set it up as a boat, you said?
Yeah, the Bondtech is really heavy. Like, it makes the Hemera look like a lightweight. So it's not suitable for direct drive. But that said, it's got a lot of power. Yeah, I figured I'd do the Bondtech with a Volcano.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm running my first layer at 15 millimeters a second.
It's already printing.
What's that?
So it's already starting to print the the bottom of the wheelhouse.
Oh, wow.
It's not quite up to the full deck level yet, but I don't think this is gonna be as nice as my previous benchies I've printed, but it'll definitely be printed way faster.
That's very cool. I just did this 180 degrees out.
Oh, the other thing is I didn't do anything about tightening or increasing the tension on the Hemera. So I have no idea if I have it I have it twisted out so it was flush like you were saying, but I don't know if that's really where I should be printing at or not.
Well, if you're not slipping or stripping, that's what the instructions on the Hemera say to start with.
Okay.
Kind of surprised we don't have anybody else joining us.
Yeah, I think maybe people don't know if there's actual action happening today. So there's definitely some print defects here and there.
Well, you've got it. You don't have any kind of tuning at all going on.
Now it's starting to print the first layer of the deck.
Cool.
No, like I said, I'm not really expecting this to be a masterpiece at all.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what it can do.
Ah! Well, there goes a shoulder bolt. And I might just have to order some. I think the button head screws will be fine.
All right. In theory, I should be able to turn on my big box now and see stuff.
Hey, Levi. Come on. Here, Levi.
Yeah, it's funny. I think the big box is quieter when it's printing, but it's definitely not quieter just sitting there.
Yeah.
All the fans inside it are definitely significantly louder than the Jubilee.
Got it.
Steppers are definitely warm. Not, oh my god, they're burning me, but definitely warm.
Okay, I don't need low profiles.
Don't need what?
I do not need low profile M520s. He's got a counter bore on the corner plates, deep enough that they can hide. Okay, so the Delrin plates that I got, these corner plates, are too small. The laser cut holes are too small.
They're very tight. They take a little bit of firm pressure and wiggling, but once they're going, they go. At least that's what it did for me.
So what you're saying is I need to do a little bit of a chamfer around the edge.
You could. I didn't actually need to chamfer mine, but if the tolerances are just a little off on that one laser cutter, that whatever laser cutter cut your pieces, you might need to do a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're designed to be a very tight fit because they kind of hold everything together up there, and you don't want any slack.
Yeah. Got it. You're right, it did took a bit of an effort to get it to go through there. Okay. Now I need shim, another one.
There we go.
Are we done?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I meant I'm messing with my big box.
Okay.
As far as the Jubilee goes, we are printing the outer railing on the back side right now.
Wow.
We might be done with a little box behind the wheelhouse. I'm not sure on that one.
The bait well?
Yeah.
Maybe not a bait well. I don't know if that's
Close enough. No, but it looks like my big box is alive. I just need to get the wiring all zip tied back down and recalibrate the Z height. And I should be good to go.
cool.
Make sure the heater cartridge heats up. Yeah, everything looks good.
At least I dropped something larger this time.
Hey, did he? Oh, wait a minute. Never mind.
Yes.
I was going to say, did E3D make their announcement that they were talking about? But then I realized that RepRap Fest hasn't happened yet, so they probably, the original scheduled time for the RepRap Festival hasn't happened yet. I figure if they're going to announce it, they're going to at least wait till then to announce it.
Friday or Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to have something to demo at RepRap Festival or not. It looks like I would have had at least one extruder to demo.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it would have been an interesting... oh, no, that wouldn't have worked. Never mind.
Yeah, you would have made it.
No, what I was going to say is it would have been an interesting test to try to throw a different Jubilee's tool on and see if it would work, but...
Yeah.
Nobody else uses the dumb board, so I'm pretty much a unicorn as far as that goes.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a unicorn.
Still working on that little box. Wasn't quite done after all. Okay. Now, how do I put all this back where it needs to go?
Get yourself a Twitch channel. Just start streaming all of your prints.
I suppose I could do something like that. I did sign up for Twitch when I was originally trying to figure out how to stream.
Yeah?
But I didn't end up doing anything with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I put heatsink on the Z motors, but the Zs are barely even above room temperature. They're maybe like, I don't know, 80 degrees Fahrenheit or something, 90 tops. They're like just kind of warm.
Okay. Well, my first corner plate went together with the wincing pulleys, tooth pulleys, super smooth and no binding. And there is ever so slight, there is just the tiniest amount of vertical free in them. And that is actually good. So that'll help with self-aligning the belts. I have to be really careful. I've got a bag of nuts up here on the table or on the desk where I'm working. And I also have a bag of nuts on the desk. And I just have to make sure I don't mix them up.
Mixed nuts can be good, though.
They can, but as long as I don't mix up the bag of peanuts and the bag of steel nuts.
Indeed. Might be uncomfortable.
Okay, first corner plate complete. Let's see what happens over there.
So, I wonder, should I bother live streaming the rest of the build? It's basically going to just be a rehash of more of the same.
Well, I guess the question is do you want live streaming the build? Is, you know, if you live stream the build, it's also the hangout time, and I don't know if you want something you want to do in the evenings.
No, I enjoy the hangout time, so.
I mean, it's the opportunity for social time, and that's kind of what I was thinking with the rest of the, you know, if there are more of the community joined in. I mean, granted, I like talking to Steve and H2B when I don't even remember what.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his real name is.
But you know, having some people to talk to is a good thing.
All right. Yeah. No. Question answered. If you will continue to enjoy having the live streams, then that's all that matters. Even if my audience is one, which it normally is anyway, I'm good with that.
There is that.
So, once the build is complete, though, I'll probably
move on to different projects.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be live streaming anything, but definitely still hang out on Discord. I am considering doing some live. Whoa, where are you going?
What?
I knocked something off of the bed on the big box as I was working on it, and it actually hit a button on the panel and it homed the y-axis on me.
Oops.
I was just like, whoa, why is it moving?
Okay, I need an M4 nut.
But yeah, the next project I plan on working on, or finishing off really, is my laser cutter.
Okay.
That project was probably 90 to 95% finished when I started working on the Jubilee. It was one of those things where it's like I knew I needed to start work on the Jubilee right away if I was going to have any chance at all of bringing it to Murph. so I put that on hiatus. So I have some, probably if I do any live streaming, I'll be live streaming some Fusion 360 because there's some parts I need to design.
Okay.
And mounting the parts and stuff like that. So if that's interesting to you, I can start a series on the laser cutter too.
Yeah, I mean, especially since I'm getting one.
Do I see a printer printing?
You do see a printer printing. The fan.
Hell, congratulations, my friend.
Not only that, the Benchy is like ripping.
Yeah, it's not maybe the prettiest Benchy I've ever seen, but it's printing ridiculously fast. I just went ahead and let the defaults that Josh had in there. And the other thing is the print cooling fan is very underwhelming at the moment. So my print cooling situation is not good, which is fine for now. I wasn't expecting anything spectacular.
Yeah, we get it. You put a 50-15 on there, and it should be.
Yeah. Now I have to buy a 50-15.
So yeah, I bet the so the Wincing T25 pulleys are 8.6, and that one I think I need to change because it's not a bad there.
Yeah, 50-15s. I wouldn't be able to get them for about 3 weeks, it looks like.
You know, Amazon's been telling me much later, and then it shows up in 2 days.
That happens sometimes, but I still got stuff that said it was going to be the 21st, and it's still looking like the 21st at the moment.
Got it. Okay.
What's the difference between these? They both say Winson 50mm blower fans, 24 volt, 50-15.
One's probably a.
One says. Okay. Yeah, one says dual ball bearing, and the other one doesn't. So.
Get the bearing one.
Get the what?
Get the dual ball bearing one.
Okay. It's double the cost too.
It's a much better fan. The other one is a sleeve bearing.
You know, I bought the fans one set of fans, and then it was like, oh, we're not using those fans. So I bought another set of fans, and now it's like, okay, we're not using those fans either.
Well, I've just been dropping everything.
Oh, I had a day like that the other day. I dropped the same bolt like 4 times. It was a little maddening.
So yeah, the Wincing bearings that I got, the Wincing pulleys that I got are significantly better than the ones I got from China. And they're between 8.5 and 8.65. Actually, they're closer to 8.6 for most of them, millimeters. So they drop right in without any problem.
Nice.
Did we lose Steve already? Did he just join us?
Yeah,
he just joined.
So I have found a laser cutter, and I'm going to be getting some photos and videos of it operational just to verify.
Oh, quick side note about your laser cutter. What was your working area?
600 by 900 by 600 with a pass-through. and a 9-inch, whatever that translates into, Z. And it comes with the rotary accessory,
Wow.
as well
Nice.
as all the support, all the other support stuff. So it's got a CW5200 chiller unit, and then it's got a air assist compressor and an evacuation blower.
Yeah, it just
I mean, I'm not happy that the guy is having to sell it.
but you're happy to get it though.
I'll be happy to put it to use, even if it means I roll it into my garage for a couple of weeks before I can get it set up in a line.
It's already printed the upper deck.
So, but I mean, I've already done a teardown and rebuild on a K40 with somebody. And this is a Thunder Laser, it's like a 35. So it's got a 600 by 900. It's got a 100-watt CO2. It's got a 100-watt tube in it. It's got the light burn controller in it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's in 3D or they're just using light burn with it. But if it's got a Cohesion 3D controller in it, that's a win. Otherwise, I was going to put one in.
Yeah, that's what I have in my. I've done the cohesion upgrade. I just dropped in my own design for a Z-axis. I want to figure out a way to lock the Z-axis or justify it over, because the Z-axis, when it's moving, it's not very. There's not enough room in there to put any like rails or anything, so it's not good.
So the Z is coming down on rods?
It's just threaded rods. So basically, the only so I'll be able to adjust the Z height, and but I won't really be able to do it on the fly. And
Well, it's likely to be. I mean, unless you're planning on doing. I mean, you don't typically do a lot of Z on the fly with a laser. It's pretty much a 2D.
no, but if you're cutting a really thick material, in theory, you could adjust the height and then cut again.
For yeah, I suppose for if you're moving your focal point.
Right. So I won't really have that ability, but I will be able to have the ability to finally change my bed height, which will be enormous.
Okay.
And I've already tested it; it works. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited to get back to that. And then I have the camera system for it too. I just haven't installed it. Huh?
Yeah, the light burn cameras have been out of stock for a month. And I don't know if you can use pretty much any camera or not.
I was kind of looking at it. I feel like you might be able to use any camera, but don't quote me on that, because I really don't know.
Okay.
Well.
Okay. Yeah. Double corner pulley assembly is complete. Motor plates are being reprinted in PET G. I thought I got my PET G dialed in pretty well, but it kept peeling off the bed.
I have had to reprint my floating pulley locking mechanism.
Oh, wow, that sucks.
I had to go into CAD and resize a bunch of stuff on it because tolerances were just not good. And if I just used internal expansion in Cura to try to like open the holes up, it messed up too much of the other things. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in and open up these specific things.
What are you having a problem with exactly?
So when I measured the interior bore of where the bushing is supposed to get pressed into, that bushing is a 9mm exterior diameter, and the pulley was like 8 point something for the entire interior diameter of the
Are you doing outside in?
Yep. Yep, doing outside in, doing all the things that should be done. What I've noticed on this printer is exterior dimensions are spot on perfect. I mean, talking, 0.02 millimeters, 0.01 millimeters off at most. The interior dimensions seem to consistently be off by 0.2.
Yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I've had ID problems on my big box as well, but generally though, I don't remember having as much problems with it as much as you seem to be having at the moment.
Yeah. Well, and then these pulleys. The one problem with this printer in PETG, because PETG is a pain with this anyway, is getting it to when I put supports in, getting it to leave a surface that doesn't look like the cratered moon surface.
I don't know that I printed any parts with supports, except for, well, okay, there was the one of the pulleys you do need to print with supports. Yeah.
That's the one I'm printing.
It doesn't need to be perfect. I just kind of like went at it with sandpaper.
Remember, we also I changed the orientation and printed it differently.
Yeah,
remember?
I flipped it. Josh has it by default so that the smooth pulley side, the curved side of that pulley, that ramp, is on the bottom. And I just found that I just had a horrible surface quality with that. And so I flipped it and printed it upside down. The only concern that I had there was when I was looking at what got me working on this today was I printed one last night, and
that outer rim
where the spring is going to ride was pretty rough.
Okay, so when you print that, what kind of support did you use?
I used zigzag.
Nope. Use concentric. Use concentric.
Okay.
I got a really good finish on concentric.
Okay.
So I am trying the Vision Miner Nano adhesive.
It's pretty badass.
Well, I was printing the right motor plate again in PETG. So I have PETG now. And I think I just took a picture. I did not take a picture. I was going to put it in the chat. So I thought I had a pretty good calibration cube. I did, I guess I will take a picture now since I didn't apparently take one.
Yeah.
See if I can actually get a good image here. Oh, come on.
Need to work on the lighting for the camera system when I'm printing. I just would like a better print camera in general. Something that's a little more sharp. For some reason, I can't seem to get this camera to be sharp for some reason.
You may have to go with the fixed focus camera and then focus on one point.
Like no matter what I do, it doesn't seem to get any better or worse. Okay. No matter what distance I'm trying to.
Well, your lighting is also you need still lights. So
no,
run LED strips down both sides of your machine.
That's on the agenda. I don't have any dot stars. I was hoping to get some, but.
Well, you could just go with a straight up 12. If you just want white light, you just get 12-volt white lights.
I have some. Yeah.
So you do that.
Yeah, I should. So, I have some. I might even have some. Like I bought all that stuff for my big box once upon a time, and I think I still have enough left over. I think.
You don't need that many.
So, question for you: do you use support interfaces or for roof or floor?
Yes, just on the roof. And I think what I did is I also went to a higher percentage of support interface.
Okay.
Go ahead and slice it and take a look. See what you think. Hey, I'm an hour late for my pill. Not anymore. I mean, still, but yeah. So yeah, I got 7 layers into the right motor plate, and I look over and I see all 4 corners have torn free of the brim and are peeled up. It's like, oh. But that's what I got on my. That's what I was getting from my Pet G. And by the way, that says that the box for that Pet G says yellow.
They lie? I don't know.
Well, you see the yellow behind it?
What's
Yeah.
that's yellow? It's just
That's
not.
kind of a mustard.
Yeah.
It's closer to the orange that I have.
What is that? Like
Okay.
a temperature tower in the background or something?
Yeah. I'm printing this at 250 because when it gets down to 230, it starts stringing. 230, 240, it's got strings in it.
Yeah, I think I usually print it. Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say I think I usually print Pet G at like 45, right around there.
What level of support interface density were you using?
I don't remember. Hold on. Let me see if I can. No, I don't have the printer anymore that I printed it on, so I don't have the files.
So, by the way,
yeah.
I spent the evening helping a good friend of mine work on his printer. It's his like 4th or 5th printer. It's his first Delta. And
Oh gosh.
he's got the any cubic Predator, which is cheap for $3 or whatever it costs, and it does good. But it uses, the Chichu box guys.
Yeah.
It uses one of their controllers, and so it uses their Chichu GCode stuff.
Okay.
Which on one hand is very handy because you can basically rewrite all of the settings as G-code directions.
Yeah, pretty much.
You just set commands to set everything, right? No config files, no Marlin stuff, right? However, there are some aspects of it that are absolutely insane as far as I'm concerned.
What the hell are you thinking?
So yeah, extruder steps, right?
Okay.
E-step settings are not in steps per millimeter. It's in millimeters per step.
Okay. Yeah. So you're talking clipper now.
So it's like 0.00 blah blah blah. And
okay.
Their board,
that's clipper.
Their board only supports 3,200 steps per revolution because of their micro stepping and everything that's turned on, and you can't really set it. It's like alter the micro stepping. It's just on. So, and you can issue the G-code command, but it doesn't actually take effect until you save. So you basically have to toss, it's like command 8055 or something like that, or 85, the save command. So we spent like 2 days bashing our heads against, this stuff, figuring out what it is, because it isn't very well documented.
Yeah.
The other stuff that they have are for like other NEQ printers that happen to use the board that they use specifically, the Tri-Gorilla Pro.
Okay.
And so digging through all of this stuff and figuring it out is just absolutely painful. Some of the most painful troubleshooting. And by the time we figured out and it's so so small of an amount to deal with that there's some spreadsheets and stuff that people put out there where you give it like your measured gear diameter for your hobbed gear and all of these things, and it calculates everything out, and you basically do your normal kind of step process. You tell it, oh, I extruded 100 millimeters and I got 90 seconds, and it will tell you. Well, when it does that, it adjusts the calculated diameter of hobbed gear. And
Yeah.
so you have to copy that. Remember to copy that back into the spreadsheet, and then the next time you take a measurement, you basically have to, you copy that back to the top, go to the bottom of the form, and tell it what you got the time round. So it took us like 8 or 9 tries to finally get it in within a reasonable amount. We got it 100 for 100 millimeter extrude. Like,
How do you measure 0.01 on a flexible film?
Many tries and averaging. Because he was between like, I think it's 0.1 to da-da-da, and it was,
it's closer. If you're within half a millimeter, you're fine. Because your variance is going to be in your filament diameter, unless you add a filament diameter sensor.
Yeah.
And you have to know exactly how far that filament diameter sensor is from the extruder or from the hot. And while it might be interesting to play with, I don't think it works yet.
Not to mention, like, filaments kind of expand differently.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, that's what you're doing is you're measuring your filament diameter as it runs through, and you're doing volumetric calculations as it comes through, and.
Well, I just meant like some of the, even if you could have two filaments with the same diameter, but they still might not extrude the same.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. So, what's the next? Since I'm waiting on redoing a bunch of parts.
That's unfortunate. What problem did you run into?
No, I'm reprinting motor plates.
Okay.
And so I have motor plates. I have motor plates in PLA. I have heat sets already in them and everything like that. These were all done in February, beginning of February, before Josh started messing around with
Same here.
And I had done everything in PLA, so I could do a build. I could put the motor plates together. But if this does not peel off the bed, I'll be redoing my motor plates and motor plate standoffs. Although I think the motor plate standoffs might be better in PLA because they're stiffer and more dimensionally accurate. It probably doesn't make that much difference. I'm a guy who does post-processing anyway, but I've already got my, do I put together my crossbar assembly?
Yeah,
the rail on
was
it.
Actually pretty quick. I put that together except for the to tighten it down. So I'm at the part where, I basically started at the top of the list, and I'm now on the locking mechanism, and I'm about 2/3 the way through that. Basically, I wired everything up tonight, tested switches. Tomorrow, if this half pulley gets done, I'll set the insert tomorrow and get that pressed in. That's the other thing is I want to make sure this pulley is perfect because I have a bushing. I didn't buy two. I bought a bushing. So if I screw anything up with it, that's going to be painful.
Got it. Okay, so...
Yeah, I bought a bushing, and then when Josh changed the bomb and I had to order again, I ordered some more. Yeah, I had to reorder from McMaster-Carr and DigiKey way more times than I would have liked. By the way, if either of you guys make another order to DigiKey, I'd like to get some more switches.
Sure.
Although,
So,
I don't know if it would really be worth having them mailed to you and then paying for shipping to mail. Oh, of course, I'd probably just drop them in an envelope. They don't need to be.
yeah, wrap them in bubble wrap and stick them in an envelope and throw a couple of stamps on them.
Yeah.
All right, so the printed pulley spacers have changed how many times now?
I have no idea.
Which version are you building? 2.0 or 2.02 or?
Good question at this point.
Has 2.02 officially released?
No, and I actually talked to him about it day before yesterday, and he basically there were a couple parts that he has changed. So, and one of them is the springs that are part of the locking mechanism, which Eric, I know you probably have had the fun. It's incredibly fiddly to make those little springs, and
Yeah, I've made them all.
talking to Josh yesterday, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm getting rid of that."
Which part?
And I was like, "What?" And
Springs.
the springs that we have to hand cut right now that are such a pain
For the bed?
Or
Or for the spring lock?
for the spring lock. He is working on getting them actually manufactured somewhere.
oh yeah, no, that's fine.
And he basically is like, yeah, he's like it's changing some stuff because he's like working with an actual spring manufacturer. He's like, I can tell them how much force it needs and what, and they can come back and tell me, here's what you can do to get that, right? And so he's like, there's been like tons and tons and tons of back and forth, trying to get those parameters dialed in before they make them. Because he said the other thing is it's going to be just like the lock pins, where somebody is just going to make a couple thousand of them for him, and he'll just have a box of them.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking because I know he changed the printed pulling spacers. Oh, since 1.0. So the ones I've got are fine. I think I actually bought aluminum spacers for those.
Yep. So, but I gotta head as soon as this print started successfully. I'm gonna head to bed here.
You're not gonna wait for the benchy to finish?
Benchy's
I
almost
wish.
Come on.
At the rate that my bed is heating, I may actually, see your benchy finished.
So I found that the AC print bed that I put on the big one.
Yeah.
It's 90 seconds to 60 degrees.
So I have a question. Your conversion that you did, that was a CR10, right?
It was a CR10 S5.
Okay, S5. Have you seen the Ender extender stuff?
Yep.
It looks pretty nifty.
It does. It does. I mean, it's the same thing. I was actually considering taking the CR10 S5 and converting it to a Core XY.
Okay.
So, I haven't. Because I have a buyer for it. I also, did I tell you, were you here when we were telling you about the printer, the laser cutter?
Your laser that you were talking about getting?
Yeah.
A little bit ago, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's 100 watt, 600 by 900. And it's got like 2 hours on it too.
So Micro Center just started carrying Glowforge as an experiment here in Columbus.
Okay.
Aren't those a couple grand?
Only got like $2,500 for the Glowforge Basic.
Yeah.
The thing that I like their Pro with the pass-through.
Yeah. And the make box is interesting too.
Yeah. Well, and the only thing the stuff that I like about their stuff is their chiller and their fume extractor are both really good, but they're both so expensive.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit pricey. But the fact that it will like live focus the laser on curved surfaces is fantastic.
Yeah, no, and don't get me wrong, Glowforge has got a lot going for it. This it's got a lot going for it. But $3,200 and then arranging to go 2 hours to get it, not a big deal.
Well, the other thing is whenever I think about a laser, I think about how infrequently I currently use it, and the fact that I have a guy here who will cut stuff for me, and he can cut stuff at a size like his is 4x8.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
and
right?
he's got about a 200-watt tube on it.
Yeah, and I had up until like the middle of last year, I had access to a laser that was an 80-watt, the same dimensions. So that's a pretty significant change because I was using it every week. I was doing stuff with it.
Yeah. I
had projects every week, because we were doing Tuesday night craft night. It wasn't even a makerspace. It was just kind of a group of us.
Well, and a lot of the smaller stuff that I would use it for, like leather work or other stuff, you can do a lot of that stuff now with the Maker Edition Cricut.
Yeah. Now, granted, somebody found out that I do maker stuff, and I've already been asked to make things that I'm not really comfortable making.
Bras?
What?
I said what, like bras?
Like, toys.
Really?
Help toys. That's like, think you know?
I've never in my life considered even remotely of doing something like that with a printer, because, I mean, how unsanitary is that? You know what I mean?
Well, laser cutting stuff.
What can you laser cut? I don't want to know.
I think you melted Eric's mind.
Yeah, I wasn't trying. I really wasn't.
Okay. Alright, I think I got the big box back in order. Well, actually, I need to...
Oh, the one thing my friend did on his Anycubic Predator, there's a really nice enclosure that you can make that basically is a set of, you basically 3D print like these lower and upper window frame pieces, and you basically just go in and take thin Lexan and you just curve it and slide it into place.
Yep.
And
it's doing the smokestack.
Yeah. I mean, it looked good. I was really surprised at the quality. And of course, this is my friend who's kind of a perfectionist, so he was pointing out all of the mistakes to me, and I'm like, no, dude, this is, I'm like, this is good. I'm like, I've had an enclosure kit for my current printer for like the last 2 months, and because I've been printing with it so much, I really don't want to stop and mess with it. It works. So, and I know as soon as I change it, as soon as I enclose it, all of my temperatures for all of my filaments are going to be off.
Of course.
So, and then I figured out, I changed my start G-code tonight to add more priming for the extruder. Because I always did like a 5mm, 6mm retract at the end, and then at the start I would do like a 10 millimeter extrude, but I was still not getting, at the start of a print, I was still just not getting a reliable,
Oh, good perch.
like first layer on the first stuff. So I basically just tossed in like a 30 millimeter extrude, and then a.
If you add more perimeters, you can kind of just purge it into the perimeter.
That's what I did.
Or into the you know, and yeah.
But sometimes what I ended up with because of that was, I would end up with layers getting scraped up as it comes around with the FET-G.
Yeah, that's what I was running into as well.
So I added like a 30 millimeter extrude at the start, and I do it, and then I do a 100 millimeter move to the center of the plate on the X, and so it basically extrudes and then pulls a thin thread, and then it moves into position and starts printing. Well, my first layers have gone from being something that I like troubleshoot from time to time to I don't even look at it anymore. It's just that reliable.
Sounds like kind of like what I've been doing. I changed my start G-code. So I'll start my bed preheat with the M140, right?
Yep.
The non-blocking preheat, right? And then I'll do my as that's going. Once I start that, then I home my printer. After I home the Z, then I pause at the Z home, right? Then she is done. And then when the bed is completely heated,
not too bad.
Right?
Wow, the smokestack came out wonderful considering how poor the cooling is.
Careful, the bed's hot.
That's not that hot.
But so after I ran my after I run the bed mesh,
yeah,
then I run the nozzle back over to 0.0 on the bed.
Yep.
Drop it down to 0.15, and then heat up the nozzle.
Yeah.
Okay, and then once my nozzle comes to temperature, I run it up I bring it over to 0.1 on the X, and run it up the length of the side of the bed, cut over another 1/10 of a millimeter, run it back, while doing an extrude.
Yep.
And then cut over to the center of the bed, and I've got no issues.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty slick way to do it. So am I reading this right? The reinforcement plates are identical on the crossbar, or they're mirror image?
No, they're identical, but it does matter which you assemble first.
They're reversed. Yeah, they're reversed.
Well, they're
the same picture.
They're the same plate. You just flip it over, so they're both.
Yeah, no, when you got into sheet 4 of 6 on the instructions, he uses note the orientation of the reinforcement, and it's the same as it is on page 2.
Well, no, it does matter because it matters like what order you stack the pulleys in, because the pulleys are stacked in reverse. So you gotta flip the plate over as well.
Yes, but this side is short and this side is long, as in the diagram. If he had reversed that image, it would be less confusing. That's all.
There you go. The picture should be in Discord now.
So getting these shoulder bolts in here is a pain in the ass. Sorry, just a pain. All right.
You guys are funny.
Well, got some stringing there.
Well, what do you expect with no fan? Or basically no fan.
Stringing, that has as much to do with your retract.
Oh, maybe. It's also not in a dry box either, so.
Not terrible. Definitely could be dialed in, but not terrible at all.
Yeah, it's literally just Josh's setting, so I have done 0 dialing. I just wanted to see how it looked straight out of the box, you know what I mean?
Looks good.
Yeah. There's some melty defects you can see in the print due to the fan, but I ordered the bigger fan, so we'll see. But I also want to work on getting that other fan working, the big fan.
Oh, fudge.
What's wrong?
I changed all the I offset some of the faces on the pulley, like I was saying. I forgot one of the faces.
Oops.
And then I just started the print on.
Oops. All right, I have got to have an M4 nut around here somewhere.
Tell me you don't have a hardware bin?
I do. I just don't have it handy. Actually.
Ouch. That's hot.
Ow. There it is.
In a kind of comical yet sad way. I'm used to printing like PETG or PLA and picking up the plate without thinking about it, even when the bed's hot.
Did you just pick
hey,
up
ADC is only ADC.
Yeah, right.
Well, the other day I was printing OBS.
Oops.
And the bed temperature on that was 110.
How'd that feel?
So I reached over and grabbed the bed with like my whole, just like, and it wasn't just like a fingertips, it was just like a full-on grab. And I pulled the plate off, and then it registered in my brain.
Okay, so I have a trick now for shoulder bolts on the Delrin plates. So the Delrin plates and the shoulder bolts are really tight fit. Like,
yep,
they're not going to go together easily. Yeah, throw a nut on the end of the shoulder bolt with a washer under it. Give it a couple of twists, and it pulls the shoulder bolt right through the Delrin. So there you go. It was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, I now have 2 empty. What's that?
You did that.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy?
Yeah.
Have you not
Steele,
that? Well,
you know.
Who?
Alex Steele says that all the time.
Who's Alex Steele?
YouTuber who does forging.
Oh. Okay. Maybe I'm just old.
He's a 20-something British kid who does some amazing work with a forge.
Yeah, I spent a summer making nails. Okay.
Isn't that the blacksmith rite of passage?
Yeah, pretty much. The thing is, I was working at a historical, I'm kind of essentially a museum park sort of thing. And all the maintenance on the historic buildings have to be done with period parts. So, yeah. Okay, I am past the point where it tore up last time, and it looks like it's stuck good.
There's definitely
Okay.
some funny defects in this part. Well, not the most beautiful benchy, but certainly the fastest that I've ever printed. And my big box is ready to go. So
Congratulations!
what's that?
I said congratulations.
Yeah, I'll try a printout on that tomorrow.
Okay.
Do some dialing in on the big box or the Jubilee.
So I was talking with my friend tonight.